Welcome to Unpacking Life's Crazy. If you've tuned into this podcast before, you may be looking at me and wondering, what's going on? What's with all the theatrics? Am I going to tell your fortune? No. And this is a moon, not a crystal ball. This episode does involve lightsabers and burlesque. So I thought I'd get a little fancy for this particular episode. What do lightsabers and burlesque have to do with each other? Stay right here and we'll unpack this. Today, we have a very special guest, which involves burlesque and lightsabers. Oakland-based writer-comedian Eric Newton identifies as Hufflepuff with just a touch of British cheekiness. 10% British, according to Ancestry.com DNA results. Although Eric has worked in the tech industry for nearly 2 decades, involved with projects for entertainment giants such as Disney, Sony, Fox, HBO, and more, he now seeks to become a household name in his own right. In July of 2022, Eric left the world of tech and joined the cast of Empire Strips Back, a Star Wars-themed burlesque parody. He is the host of the show, as the nephew of Lando Calrissian. So you Star Wars fans will know exactly what that means. The rest of you? Well, you'll just have to muddle along. Since joining this group of rebels, Eric has hosted the show over 150 times for more than 150,000 audience members, including me. From San Francisco to Hollywood, the show is currently on stage in San Diego. And if you want to see it, you better get your tickets right now because I checked and they are selling out fast. Before we welcome Eric to the podcast, a little bit of housekeeping. If you'd like to support the show and you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe to the channel, make a comment. Eric or I will have something to say back to you. And if you're listening to the podcast, please subscribe. You can also support my channel by buying me a cup of coffee. And if you'd like to support the show and get a really cool piece of original artwork, like these earrings, or the paintings in the back, you can go to my Etsy shop at esperanzapaints.com. So, without further ado, let's meet writer and comedian, aka Lando Calrissian's nephew, Eric Newton. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me here. This is fun already. I love this.
I'm so happy to have you on. So this is so exciting. I did a little bit in the intro about some of your background, and I was excited to learn that that you are also a big Harry Potter fan.
Yep, huge. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm Hufflepuff AF, as they say. Yeah. Yeah. Hufflepuff. I'm a comedian and a writer from Oakland, so I be Hufflepuff puff passing all the time. I'm guilty of that such behaviors, but yeah, huge Harry Potter nerd over here. I love it.
Nice. And I'm a big fan of Oakland. I assume you're aware that that mushrooms are decriminalized there.
Oh yeah, I brought some with me from Oakland actually. So there's a place in Oakland called Zydor, and yeah, I got these microdoses. I'm like,
I too,
yeah, the hillbillies are great.
Am a member of Zydor, you know.
Oh yeah, that place is cool. I love that place.
We are in the same clergy. We participate in the same church. Worship the fungi.
Yep, exactly, 100%. Yeah, I brought some chocolate bars with me and stuff like that. And you're right. Yeah, Oakland's a beautiful, wonderful place, man. Like any major city, it has its issues, but there's so much love and so much cool stuff that you can really only do in Oakland. I love it. I'm always gonna. My apartment happens to be brick controlled, but even still, I'm always gonna keep that apartment forever because I love living. I live in Fruitville, like right by Fruitville Station.
Oh, okay.
And that neighborhood is fantastic. Like great food. It's getting close to Alameda, and I don't know. Oakland's tight. I love it up there.
Oakland's great. Yeah.
Are you in the East Bay?
Well, I was in the East Bay. I was in the East Bay until almost exactly a month ago. We moved to Oregon, Beaverton, Oregon, just
that's right.
this last month. So I brought a supply with me as well. And now I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to get it now that I've moved because I don't have Zydor anymore. And I'm a little bit like, I'm trying to find some friends on Facebook that post a lot of mushroom pictures,
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely therapeutic. Like I take like 1 or 2 microdoses throughout the one or 2 days a week, and I don't know, it just helps me with my mood and my anxiety. And there's always so much stuff going on in life, and like kind of helps you kind of navigate it a little bit at least.
100%.
Like I don't get too crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't go. Exactly. Yeah, I don't go on like huge trips and go out to the ocean, the forest and stuff. I just want to relax my mind sometimes. Yeah.
Right. I've done entire podcasts. I did Into the Weeds about shrooms, and well, Unpacking Life's Crazy has to do with some of my mental conditions and all that sort of thing. And after years of cognitive therapy, which helped a lot, and I did EMDR, which was great. I got to this point where I was like, I need to move to the next level. And I did some research into ayahuasca, but that was a little bit, you got to go to a place and it's expensive and it's a whole thing. And then I stumbled on the fact that psilocybin is very similar. So I actually used I use it for my PTSD and my anxiety.
Yeah.
And it has made all the difference in the world. It's just, I was really excited because right as I came, this January, they started implementing a law here in Oregon, that will allow, psychedelic assisted therapy.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But as usual, the government is kind of bollocksing it up with like, it's going to be this really expensive training and it has to be this clinical setting and it's like this big thing and there's no religious exception. So, it's got some bugs to work out, but
Yeah. Oh man. Well, hopefully you can find a way, a easier way to like continue your treatment because I think it is helpful and it's useful. If worst comes to worst, maybe I could just take a Greyhound train up to you every now and then. I'll take a bus, drop some off, and just leave. I gotta catch the next Greyhound back to Oakland right away. Here's your package.
Well, we got our new place is actually a 3-bedroom, and we have a dedicated guest bedroom. So, I've already put the word out to my comedian friends like Jackie that whenever she's in town, I got a bed for her.
Hey, that's awesome. That's super cool. Our show is talking about going to Oregon. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here talking about that. But yeah, we're supposed to go to Seattle next, and then Oregon after that. I'm gonna continue on as the West Coast host, and so I'm definitely gonna do those cities. Yeah,
let's come back around to the show because that is I mentioned a little bit in the intro that I stumbled upon this friendship with you because of attending the show. And then my dear friend Jackie posted a picture with you, and I was like, "Yeah, that show was awesome." But then I got COVID.
Oh yeah, man, that theater. Oh, we can talk about it later, but that theater, COVID was going around everywhere in that theater. That's the only time I ever got it too. Was I had to miss 3 shows because of that.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, it was the first time we'd let our guard down and gone out because it was my boyfriend's birthday. We were celebrating. Big Star Wars nerd. Me too.
Oh yeah.
I'm OG. I saw Star Wars in the theater, original, first release. Oh, no. And I went multiple times, even though I was 6 years old. So
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, I can see the baby Yoda in the background, little Grogu back there.
yeah,
So that's
we
pretty
got him
cool.
back there. So we're big nerds, and
Yeah,
so we really wanted to see the show. We let our guard down, and it was I
yeah,
I could have done without the COVID, but
yeah. I apologize. I'm glad you guys have to come out. I'm glad your man had a good birthday, but I'm so sorry that happened to you.
well,
But
that's
it happened to so many of us there. That play it was like every week somebody, like one of the staff, or like mostly the staff and like and the audience members, but a few of the cast too. For 1 week, it was bad for a week. Yeah.
oh man, yeah. Well,
Yep.
you were so kind to send me a private message apologizing. Like, well,
Oh yeah.
well, you're not the one who gave it to me. I'm pretty sure it was the asshole behind me who had a mask on
Yeah.
most of the time, but then started talking to me, took his mask down, and was coughing. I was like,
Oh my goodness.
you piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is the worst time for you to do that. Don't do that. Put your mask back on. Shut up.
I'm like, what the
Yeah.
what is your problem, man? So yeah, I'm pretty sure he was
Yeah.
the guy. Um,
Okay.
so
That jerk.
yeah, that jerk. So I was really excited that we got in to see it in San Francisco because I just checked and your San Diego show is selling out like crazy. The show is super popular. I'm really excited for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this may be your breakout role and your way to the big time and getting some big comedic roles. So so right now I want to get you on tape. If you go on one of those late night shows and get interviewed, you have to invite me to the audience.
Oh, of course. Yeah, a guest of honor for sure. Yeah. I'll definitely get you in no matter who's interviewing me. Yeah. Geraldo. Who are the late night guys anymore? I don't even know anymore. Like, I think Oprah, Geraldo,
No,
Jerry
all
Springer. Yeah. Yeah. I would love, dude, those are my top 3 choices. If I'm getting interviewed by anybody, it should be Geraldo, Oprah, or Jerry Springer.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Well, so how has this experience been? I showed that in your bio. You worked in tech. Now, what part of tech?
Oh, so I used to be a quality assurance analyst. So basically a QA tester. And that started like decades ago. I started as a video game tester for this company called Infograms. Eventually they bought the Atari names, so we kind of became Atari, but it wasn't the original Atari. But anyway, and then from there on, I kept getting additional roles. I worked for Sony for a while and other smaller like startup game companies. And the last few years of my tech career, I was working in mobile games, and then I switched over to testing like streaming apps. And that's how I started testing. So originally the company was called MLB.com. So we were testing a lot of like baseball. It was all like Major League Baseball games. But they also had contracts because the technology they had contracts with like HBO and WWE and Fox Sports, and a few other ones. And so we were testing a bunch of different streaming apps, and eventually Disney bought our company to make Disney Plus. So so I helped, start Disney Plus, and eventually Star Plus, which is kind of like Disney Plus, but like overseas. Has more of like Disney's other movie properties that they want to, include in America's Disney brand, yeah. And then eventually, I tested a little bit of Hulu, but yeah, finally, okay. And then during that time, I would say maybe 6-7 years ago, I decided I want to start doing stand-up comedy for various reasons, and so because I'll get to that probably in a little bit, but so I've been doing stand-up comedy for a while, and eventually I got this amazing opportunity to host the Empire Strips Back. And they came to San Francisco, like you said, and I had a friend. I don't know if you know Natalie Fauci.
I don't.
She's a comedian she's also a Bay Area comedian. One time we did a show together, and she was like, "Hey, I work at this theater called the Great Star Theater in San Francisco in Chinatown, and this show's coming in called The Empire Strips Back, and they're looking for a new host, and they kind of want like a Lando character. So I think you might fit the role that they're looking for. You want to put your name in? I was like, heck yeah! And then this thing I knew, I got the job, and it's been the greatest thing that's ever happened to me ever. It's by far for so many different reasons. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's
been
in
amazing.
so many cases, it's really, it's who you know, and it's just, you know, timing, and also, you know, you're a nice guy. And and when
I try to
when you're good people and you're nice, then you know, then the people who know you want to do good stuff for you. You know, they're looking for opportunities. So that's great. That's super cool.
Yeah, you're right.
Now
I do believe in karma, and I do believe in, you know, like if you put positivity into the universe, for some reason it comes back to us. Like, I really believe that. So I try to always be grateful and do that every single day and everything I do. I try my best.
100%. I mean, that's, you know, kind of what this podcast is about. You know, we use humor to survive and and to get through it.
That's
and
awesome.
You know, just being good people. You know, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
It's not.
It's not that hard
It's
to
not.
be good.
And it's worth the effort. You know, I used to say to people, it's risky to be nice to everyone you meet, but it's worth the risk. That's what I always say.
Yeah. You know, every once in a while you meet a shithead, but most people are pretty cool.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, it's always gonna happen. But I feel like I don't want to start off that interaction with that assumption, because then it will turn into that.
Yeah.
But if you start off like, hey, yeah, you know, like if you start off on a positive note, you usually find out like most people are cool, but not everybody is cool. Some people are like, oh, I had to meet that person once, so never again. That was enough.
Like,
yeah,
that vibe's from that guy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
and when I watch the show, and I've mentioned before in this podcast that I have a background in live theater, which is why I dressed up theatrically for this particular interview. I don't always dress like this, but, you know, I had the opportunity. And, you know, burlesque.
You're pulling it off. I feel like that's like your default fancy level right there. Like, yeah, you go to the grocery store dressed like that. Is what I felt like. That's the vibe I was getting.
Well, you know, I gotta go get my driver's license here in Oregon, and I'm headed there after the show. So maybe I'll just leave it like
perfect.
this.
Yeah, that would be a great ID photo. Yeah, you should get all the photos you need done today. Get a new passport, everything.
But because I do live theater, when I watch a theater performance, I'm looking at the little details, like your character, you're introducing each of the acts that come out, but you're also covering for the costume and scene changes that are going on back there. You know, so I'm watching that going, oh, okay, all right, what's going on back there? While you're doing your bit, I'm also kind of wondering what's coming next. And and I knew there must have been a huge costume change when they wheeled out the drum set.
Oh yeah.
You do a fabulous drum solo. It's a Phil Collins song, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Air Tonight.
Yeah. So you wheel out with the drum set and you do this drum solo, and I'm thinking, wow, that must be a huge scene change going on back there.
Yeah, you called it. You called it. Yeah. That scene is there specifically to give Han, and so you know the Emperor. Oh shit! Actually, you know that's a spoiler.
Yeah. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Yeah. But there's huge stuff going on back there. And
there's one act that happens, and to give them time to get into the act that comes after me playing drums. Yeah, that's why I'm there for that. Yeah. But you know what? It's sadly enough. So I used to be a drummer. I used to play drums. I
was going to ask you. I was going to say, how long have you been a professional drummer?
So I started I'm a lot older than I look. This is all hair. Like, I need to re-dye it already. But anyway,
okay, confess.
I used to be a drummer.
Confess. How old are you?
What? Oh, I'm 44 years old. Yeah.
All right, I
just turned 44.
I turned 51 on Friday.
Oh wow! Oh wait, so it's coming up?
Yeah, this coming Friday. I turned 51.
Well, Pre-happy birthday. You don't. Yeah, well, we both look very, very young for our ages. We look amazing.
Well,
All right,
thank you. I agree.
Up. All right. Yes. Yeah. I go 100%. Right back at you. But yeah, so like 2 lifetimes ago, I used to be a drummer, and so the funny thing is, I hadn't played drums in like 10 years, and then during the interview when they were casting for the host, I just happened to mention it at the very, very end of the interview, or whatever the casting call, whatever it was. And they're like, "Oh, can you play drums in the show?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, dude. What do you want me to do?" And we talked about it. I was like, "Yeah, I can learn that." And it ended up being like one of the people love that.
Oh
scene.
yeah.
And I started having heck of fun with it. But you know what's sad is the theater we're in San Diego is too small, and they want to reduce the length, the running time of the show, so they had to cut that scene out for San Diego.
Oh no,
yeah.
That's such a bummer.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel bad for you San Diego people, because that is so fun. Well, hopefully the next one that you go to, there'll be plenty of room in time for it, because that was super fun.
I hope they bring it. I'm sure that eventually they'll bring it back when they have the space in the theater. Yeah, because like you were saying, the show itself, just for the main props, it takes up a lot of like wing space, or it won't fit in certain theaters. Like we can't have Jabba and Han Solo's Carbonite and all. I mean, no, we have that stuff now. I just mean if the theater is too small, then we can't house it there, so we can't do the show there. And there's some stuff that we're just not going to take out. Right. Hey, if we can't have Java, we can't do
what's
the
the
here,
point?
Basically,
Yeah, if you can't
exactly, right. So
there's no room for R2D2. What? Get the fuck out of here.
There's no room for our show here. Then, yeah. I remember this one. I kind of felt bad. I remember when I first started doing the show, and I was telling my local comedian friends about it, and they kind of saw it was popular. I remember this one guy, he was like, "Oh, talk to your producers." I do this show, and it was in. I had done the show, and it was in like a literal movie theater. It wasn't like in a theater. Like the comedy show was in a theater. And I was like, our show will not fit in that, dude. Like, you have to see the show to understand, like, just the lights alone, like you couldn't fit it in a movie theater,
it's huge. And how many people are in the show? Because, it's a little hard to tell, because I know that, people are swapping out costumes, and you've got some big numbers where I assume almost everybody is on stage at that point. But how big is the cast?
Our cast is 12 people. So we have, I think it's 8 female dancers, 3 male dancers, and then me, I think. Does that equal 12? That might be 13. Well, yeah, you know what? We actually, again, like I said, since we're in San Diego, we reduced the cast by 2 people, by 3. So anyway, I guess I should say this: it fluctuates from 10 to 13 people in the cast, depending on where we're at. Yeah.
And I assume you have a crew traveling with you too.
So the crew doesn't travel with us, right, per se. We usually hire local.
Okay, so you're training the locals at the theater, the backstage staff there.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a lot of backstage when I was in theater. I did a lot of basically back then I was doing a little bit of everything. I did set construction, costumes, I ran spotlight, I did sound, I did prop stuff. We did Into the Woods, and I had to drive a chicken.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because there's this so there was like a chicken in a nest on top of an RC car. And I had to be on the wings driving the chicken on the stage. And I was always terrified I was going to send it off the stage into the front row. I was like, damn, one of these days, I'm just going to nail one of those old ladies with a chicken. And I'm never going to work here again. It was terrifying.
Oh, man. I mean, you may have come up with the answer to why the chicken crossed the road, though.
To hit an old lady in the head, apparently. That's why.
That's usually why they do it. That's why they're crossing any roads.
I had a cameo role in that one, too. I was Snow White, because she comes in at the very end of the show. So my entire role was, excuse me.
Oh, you nailed it! Bravo, bravo! That was amazing. Yeah, right on.
But nothing as big as what you've got going on, and that's so many shows. How many shows are you doing a week?
We do 8 shows a week,
Wow.
Tuesday through Sunday, with doubles on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, so we do a matinee on Sunday. Yesterday was the first. So this is the first time we've had the matinee schedule on Sunday. So yesterday was the first time I hosted a burlesque show at 4 p.m. and I brought it up. I was just joking. I was like,
it's a little weird.
Is this It is a little weird. I was like, yeah, because I thought right before I went on stage, I thought about that. I was like, I wonder if this is anybody's first time. So I asked them, is this your first burlesque show? And so people were like, there's a big group of people were like, yeah, it's our first time. I was like, well, it's risky picking 4 p.m., dude. I think it could have been sketchy, but you guys picked the right one. You're in the right place. This is your first 4 p.m. burlesque show.
Yeah.
This is the one you want to be at.
So you're getting the same people who go and get the chicken wing special at the strip joints for lunch.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, they just rush out straight from church. They left church, get some brunch, go see some sexy stormtroopers.
You know what? What I'd like to do after church, how about let's go see some tits? Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
All in the same afternoon, dude. That's why America is wonderful. I love America. It's the land of the free.
Yeah, beautiful. And if you can see a show that involves, Wookiees, lightsabers, and tits, then, why wouldn't you?
That's win-win-win.
Yeah.
That's 3 wins right there.
That's
Yeah. Excuse me. I want to mention, you saw the show in San Francisco, but I don't know if you know. So the next city we went to Hollywood after that, and we got a brand new cast. I'm the only person that's the same from San Francisco. Yeah,
I had no idea. So, I'm glad they kept you.
Me too. Yeah, I'm like happy. I feel like I won like a season of like a reality show. It's like, oh, we're gonna keep Eric for season 2. He did well in the polls.
Well, your character was great, and I mean the whole show is hilarious. I don't think it gives too much away to say I absolutely loved it when R2-D2 made it rain. And
oh yeah, I love that. That
part is just great. Hilarious. And then you're picking up money like the rest of the show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So there's some bits that are just especially. And the Jawas taking apart C-3PO. I think that's my other favorite. I don't think that gives too much away. You folks will have to see it to know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you see it, yeah, just definitely.
That scene is great too because I was going to mention it has really cool music in the show. And
I
love that song during C-3PO. That song is a fantastic choice for that scene. So that's a great. I'll always love introducing that scene and just watching it from the sides.
Yeah, and it does. It has a great score. Could you mention? I mean, I remember the song that you played, but mention a few of the songs that are in it for the listeners.
Oh yeah, so we have so I'll name some of the bands. So we have Portishead. We have so the song that's for C-3PO is Dance Monkey. I forget the name of the artist though, but we have like In Excess. We have a medley that has like a bunch of '90s like R&B.
Yeah.
It has like Backstreet Boys and like what is it? Sir Mix-a-Lot, stuff like that. Run DMC.
Yeah, Sir Mix-a-Lot. That was good.
Yeah, but in the finale where I get to rap on stage, we do Rapper's Delight. So it's fun. It has music for everybody. It has some Guns N' Roses. So it's like music from all over the place, but like very fitting and very very cool to like the character that's on stage. So like Boba Fett has a song that's like it sounds like this is what Boba Fett would rock out to type of thing. So it's really fun. The creator of the show, his name was. So I'll talk about the history of the show a little bit.
That'd be great.
Actually started in It started in Australia 10 years ago, and so the original creators and choreographers, the Australian crew, and the creator and director, his name is Russell Beatties. He is just a crazy madman of awesomeness. I'm super happy to work with him because even though he grew up in Australia and we're pretty close to similar age, but he watched all the same cartoons as me, all the same movies, was all the same hip hop. It was tight, and so we really hit it off. And like it really makes me like when he gave me that chance to do it, I was like, oh, I gotta do my best for this guy, and yeah, he does a lot of parody. He does a lot of parody burlesque shows in Australia. So he has like a Game of Thrones one called
Really?
Game of Thrones. Oh yeah. And
That's
he's trying to
his thing.
bring more of his that's his thing. He does like parodies of well-known like kind of like sci-fi, kind of fantasy TV shows or movies.
Uh-huh.
And he does like really cool burlesque parodies of them. And they're really, because the thing about it, he's really into filmmaking. So you could probably attest to this. His props and his costume work is just fantastic.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah.
So even though we we'll be like, oh, this is Star Wars, or this is Game of Thrones, like he loves he loves those franchises so much that our costumes and our props are like they look fantastic. You know,
oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure George Lucas wouldn't be mad about it.
R2
R2 is perfect, right?
Perfect. R2 is perfect.
Yeah.
And Chewbacca also.
Oh yeah, the Chewie
spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And when we did the show in Hollywood, we got a little person to actually play like a live Yoda. We didn't use a puppet Yoda for Hollywood. And the mask dude, so he had the dancer. He had his face 3D mapped. Then he had his face 3D printed into like a mold. And they made the Yoda mask. It cost like $15,000, and we just used it for like those 3 months in Hollywood. Now we don't have a live Yoda anymore because the stage is too small.
Oh my gosh.
That's yeah, that's like he goes to that level of
oh wow,
detail
that's
for
hella
show.
cool though.
Yeah.
That is hella cool.
Yeah,
and I was impressed with oh gosh, I don't even know what the creature character is called, but that weird little rat thing that sits next to Jabba.
Salacious Crumb.
Yeah,
I
was like,
his name, yeah.
I have never known what that thing was called, but just so accurate. I was like, oh my god, they've got that little guy too. What the heck?
I know, right? Yeah, the Jabba scene is so fun. You know, I like the Jabba scene a lot too because there's actually, I think we have 3 versions of it, so 3 different songs. So we have a Meatloaf song, we have what's it called? 9 Inch Nails version, and we also have a new one where it's a Notorious B.I.G. song. So yeah, so the Jabba scene can switch around sometimes, which is really fun.
Do you have understudies for the dancers? Because I'm thinking, oh my god, they're doing so many shows, and actually the show that I watched, it kind of looked like one of the dancers had maybe sprained her ankle before the show.
Oh yeah.
Because some of her moves, I was thinking, yeah, she looks like she's a bit injured. So yeah, I imagine that's a big risk, because if you see the show, they are doing some crazy dance moves. There's a lot going on there, and that's a lot to put a body through that many shows in a week. I mean, you do great with what you do, but physically you're not doing as much as those dancers. That's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, not even close. Like for me, it's cake basically. Yeah, and it's pretty difficult. But the understudy. So unfortunately, we don't have any. If someone goes down, basically we have to switch the way we run the show that night until we can get somebody back. Yeah, it's unfortunate. So some of the dancers, they'll know different roles. So like say someone might know how to do the Boba Fett routine and then Princess Leia's R2 scene. And so sometimes people are like, hey, sometimes it won't be injury or sickness. Sometimes they'll be like, hey, I have a wedding to go to. I can't be here. And so, and like life happens, right?
Right.
We definitely accommodate. And so sometimes they'll switch roles like that. But yeah, if someone was to go down long term, I think what would happen in that case is like we might try to reach out to one of the previous like SF cast and be like, can we fly you down here? Can you do this show this weekend? Because that did happen in LA. Like I said, like some of the original cast is from Australia. And when the LA show was ready to start, some people were having problems with their visas and they couldn't get back into the country right away. So we brought a few SF casts to cover the first weekend. And I'm guessing if something were to happen like that in San Diego, they might have to reach out to previous cast members. If that didn't happen, they might have to hire local dancers and find out where we can train them up quick enough. But yeah, right now it's a slippery slope. If I go down, they got nobody. They can't. Nobody can do what I do up there. No, I'm just kidding. But, they can literally get anybody, but it would just be a different show. Basically.
I assume that just based on what you do, that you do have some leeway. So you're doing some ad lib stuff in there too, which is probably why they wanted a comedian. They wanted somebody who could think on their feet, and if something goes wrong, you can kind of play it off, or a cast or one of the audience members decides to do something crazy, because you never know. Yeah. You got people drinking. It's a burlesque show. You never know when you're going to get some weird pervert who decides to try to get up on the stage or some shit. And there has to be a ringmaster when a circus happens.
Exactly. That's the best way to put it. Yeah.
But you're also kind of a comedic bouncer, I guess, when necessary.
That's correct. Yeah, that's true. You're right. That is one of the main how would I put this? One of the skills that makes me really well at this show is, like you said, sometimes things could go wrong backstage. They might need more time, or sometimes the audience needs to be directed a certain way. And I just kind of, especially now that I have the experience, I could do that really well. They're never worried. They're just like, hey, as long as Eric's out there, we have as much time as we need. We can take our time to set up these props, and the crowd's never going to get bored. So I appreciate that. It's really fun. And like you said too, another thing I appreciate being friends with Russell is that he trusts that I can say what I want to say out there. They gave me like a few bullet points of things they would like me to talk about, like selling merch and some of like the tiny rules. But other than that, they let me tell any joke I want anytime I want up there, and I really appreciate that. I wrote all my own material. I'm super proud of that. And it's super cool. And yeah, if something happens that's a funny moment, I can be like, oh, I'm gonna talk about that right now. I don't have to stick to the script and be like, just do this exact same show every night. They let me like have fun with it, and the audience has way more fun with it that way.
You're traveling to different cities, and you had shared a video of the place where you're staying now. So I was a little curious how that works. Are they housing you in Airbnbs? Are there like generous hosts that decide to let you stay? How does that work?
So far, I've traveled with them to LA and San Diego now, and they've gotten us Airbnbs for our stays here, which is nice because I like to have access to like a stove and a fridge. I like to cook my own food. I don't like takeout and like restaurants and stuff. So yeah, it's been nice. Oh, yeah. Luckily, at the last place they had me in LA, I was rooming with another cast member who played Yoda. His name was AJ. He's a super cool dude. I miss that guy actually. He lives in Las Vegas, and he used to host like Little People Wrestling, and he's also a professional dancer as well.
Oh really?
Yeah, he was awesome. He would crump on stage as Yoda. It was heckin' cool. People would go crazy every night for him. But every time he came out, it was amazing. It was so fun. It was super cool.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. They get us Airbnbs. I think the dance cast, they shared maybe like 2 or 3 to a house. But luckily today, I got me my own place this time in San Diego. I'm just here with just me and my cat. I brought my cat with me. It's heckin' tight. I flew my cat to Hollywood to stay with me. That was heckin' tight. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So I'm heckin' happy. And maybe if we come to Oregon, hopefully if I come to Oregon, I'm gonna have my cat with me. So hopefully you're not allergic to cats, or else I can't stay with you. I'm sorry about that.
Well, my boyfriend is allergic to cats. This is the longest I've ever gone in my life without having a cat. Like I got my first personal cat when I was 5, and I have never gone like more than 6 months in my life without having a cat. But my boyfriend is allergic, and so it's weird.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So what is your kitty's name?
Yeah. Her name is Sterling. She's an orange tabby. So I come to find out, I didn't know. I didn't know that orange cats are rarely female. Only 1 in 5 orange cats are female. So she's like a rare special Pokemon to me. Like I love her to death. Yeah, she's amazing.
We've had cats make appearances on this podcast before.
Oh, nice. I knew I would like being a guest on this show.
So, well, that's really cool though that you've been able to bring your kitty with you, because I imagine, with all those shows, it must be a little bit lonely. I mean, you don't have a lot of downtime, but then it's just like you in an empty place in a new city must be a little weird.
It is. You're right. Yeah. So I'm definitely happy to have my main companion with me, and I play a lot of Nintendo Switch games, and I'll read and stuff like that. But it does get lonely, and a lot of people probably don't believe this about me, but I'm actually, by default, I'm very introverted anyway. So I love getting all the attention at the show, like 1,000 people chanting my name. Like, that's super fun. But as soon as the show's over, I'm like, man, I just want to go home and be a nerd by myself and just chill with my cat. So it works out. It's a cool balance, Yeah, like I'm glad I get to have so much excitement.
I totally get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. It's nice. I like it a lot. It works out for me.
Yeah, I'm a bit of an introvert, artist type myself, but I've done some stand-up comedy. That's actually where I met Jackie.
Jackie Pearl? Yeah, I know Jackie.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, and I met her one of the few times that I was doing some stand-up comedy. I'm disabled, so the concept of traveling town to town and doing stand-up is never going to work for me physically. I just can't do it. But if I have a friend that's doing a show and they've got 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever, they'll let me get up there. I'm like, yeah, I'll go down. So Jimmy Dave had a show up in Sonora, and Jackie happened to be there, and she and I just like immediately clicked. She's just a sweetheart. So that's how I met Jackie, and then that's how I wound up seeing her photo with you. But yeah, I'm like that. It's like in a crowd at like a party or whatever where I don't know the people. I'm like, okay, this is just awkward, and I am just gonna go stand over here and pet the dog, cause
yeah.
But people are like, okay, wait a minute, you have anxiety about that, but you'll get on stage in front of perfect strangers and talk about sex? What?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Sometimes
it's
people
a
don't
weird
understand
balance.
us, right? But it's like, what's cool about I remember that time. I remember the day Jackie came to the show because she gave me a really cool gift. She brought me a signed. It's like a picture of Darth Vader. It's in a frame and it's signed by James Earl Jones, and it's super cool. I was like, oh man! So thank you, Jackie. I still have that at my house in Oakland. It's like, when I did the San Francisco show, I ended up getting all these super cool Star Wars gifts, and so I have them all like in the same place in my apartment. And the picture she gave me is with all that stuff too, of course.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, when I say that I'm a Star Wars nerd, I can't even remember which movie, but there was a Star Wars movie released a couple years back, and since it was like opening weekend, they had stormtroopers and an R2-D2 and stuff, and then they had like a couple guards so that people could come and take pictures at the theater. Yeah. So when we go into the show, there's a lot of people, oh yeah, they want to get their pictures, and they step up there and get their picture. And I was there with my boyfriend and his dad, and he's like, you want to get your picture? I said, no, I want to wait until we're done and it's calm. And I did. I waited until, it kind of cleared out after the thing. And then I went over and I told the stormtroopers, I said, could you pretend to hold us hostage? And they're like, oh, hell yeah. I've got pictures with me, my hands behind my head looking afraid.
Oh, yeah.
The actors doing the thing, they were probably like, I don't know who this crazy lady is, but this is the most interesting photo shoot we've done all day. And I saw it when I was so young that, how when you're a kid, you'll like play make-believe on the playground. Oh, you'll like, play roles from a TV show or whatever. I don't know, maybe for you it was Ninja Turtles. I don't... Trying to think what era you're from.
It's still Ninja Turtles, Transformers, all of it.
Transformers? Yeah.
Oh,
So, were you
yeah.
Optimus Prime?
Sailor Moon. Yeah. No, I'm a huge Decepticon. I like Soundwave. Soundwave was super cool.
Soundwave was your thing. We would play Star Wars on the playground. That was our thing. And my best friend had like super long hair, and she actually was Princess Leia one year. She did like the buns on both sides of her head. So when we played on the playground, she was always Princess Leia. And since that was the only female role, I was always Han Solo.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. You look like you could be an intergalactic smuggler.
I could be a scruffy nerf herder. Nerf herder? What the heck is a nerf herder?
That's correct. It's a person who herds nerfs.
Do you know what a nerf is? Have you?
Nah. I've never dealt I should Google it, but I haven't. I know. And I say that line every single night too. I have no clue. They should do a whole series, like a whole Disney Plus series about the Nerf herder. It would be like I bet it'd be better than the Book of Boba Fett. Just some guy out there just herding like Nerfs through like the sand dunes or something. I don't know what they do. Yeah.
Maybe it's like a Wookiee sheep.
Yeah, exactly. It's something like that, I bet.
Now this is launching in both your, it's acting, it's comedy. How long do you think this could go? I mean, how long has it been playing? You said it started in Australia, so how long did it run there, and how did that work? Do you have any anticipation about what comes next?
Yeah, so it started in Australia for 10 years ago, and it's just been more and more successful every time they do runs of the show. And so their current plan is now the producers want to franchise the show. So they're going to have multiple versions running at the same time. We're going to have the West Coast touring version that I'll be a part of, but then we're also going to have a stationary version in New York and Chicago. And they just cast the New York show. I think they're close to finishing the Chicago show too. And so their plan for the next, I know for sure I'll be touring with the show for the next 2 years at least. I know the next cities we're going to, but after that, then I can just pop into any of the stationary ones I want. But I want to be in New York this month. Guys could host a show there. They're like,
wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
But so it's gonna run for a long time. For bare minimum for me, the next 2 years, I probably won't even be back home to Oakland for like the next 2 years, probably. Which is cool. It's gonna be exciting.
That is
super
super
fun.
cool. That is amazing.
The main end game goal is they want to have Vegas.
Yeah, well, Vegas is big time. I'm sure they'll have plenty of room for your friend to come back and be Yoda.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, when we did the show in Hollywood, a lot of so a lot of celebrities would come and they'd be like, "Dude, this is like a Vegas style show. You guys should get there." And I know that's down the road, one of the main producers, that's like their dream. They want it to be like a running show, always running in Vegas, a huge show that you can always see at any time of the, throughout the whole year. So eventually, I know it's gonna get there. It's gonna make it. The reaction we get from every city we've been into, and all these I got to meet Gabriel Iglesias. Fluffy came to this show one time, and he was like, I couldn't believe like my jokes were making him laugh. It was crazy. It was blowing my mind. But he was like, he's gonna come. He's gonna come check out the show in San Diego. And I just wanted to quickly go back and just say like. The fandom, the audiences have so much fun and they love it so much, and that's why I love doing it. That's why I never have to fake being enthusiastic on stage, because everyone's already having so much fun that I just naturally have fun with them, and I think that works in every city. So eventually, somehow the show it just gets bigger and bigger because of that. It's crazy. It's super fun. So yeah, I'm gonna be working this show for the foreseeable future, which I'm super happy about. Because I don't want to look for a regular job ever again. I just want to do this.
I hear you on that. Yeah, it'd be pretty hard going back to tech after getting to do this. It must be pretty cool to going to new locations and getting to meet all those new people. And, you don't have a lot of extra time, but at least you get to be in a new space and experience a different city. So that's pretty neat. So your usual day off then is like you just get Monday, huh?
Yep, only Monday off. Yeah.
And I don't know how you don't just spend the whole day sleeping.
Yeah, I was tempted today. I was really tired today, but I don't know. Every day is so beautiful. It's like I don't know. It's fun to get up and just do anything, I guess, other than sleeping. For a long time, I was struggling with like depression, like alcohol and drugs and stuff. And I noticed like to cope with that, I would sleep all day, every day. And so now, even when I'm tired and I know I should, I don't do drugs or alcohol anymore. I'm not depressed anymore. But now, like if I feel like I'm just going to sleep because I'm lazy or bored, I can't do it. Like it's like it feels like I'm like reverting back into those times. So even when I'm super tired, I know like Eric, you should just rest and go to sleep. Like I can't. I don't let myself anymore. I don't know why I'm like that. One day I'll figure it out that it's okay.
Well, I have insomnia.
Day off, you should rest your body. Oh yeah. Not getting enough sleep is terrible. For me, I think that was one of the worst things that I was doing to my body is not sleeping enough was like really, really affecting my health a lot. Not getting like good sleep.
Well, you're not as young as you look.
Exactly. I got to do everything I can to maintain what I currently have.
Well, hopefully, if you come do a show, you'll probably do a show in Portland, which is about 20 minutes from me. So even if you can't come stay with us, we'll have to arrange a Monday to get together because you're definitely someone I'd like to hang out with in person.
The feeling is mutual. Thank you so much. I would love to hang out with you in person as well. Even though you're Gryffindor, we can find some common ground.
Yeah, Gryffindor and Hufflepuff get along pretty well.
They're pretty cool. They work out.
Okay. One more nosy question. So have you got a special someone in your life? We've got this will air after Valentine's, but we're interviewing the day before Valentine's. So have you got a special someone?
I do. Her name is Sterling. She's an orange tabby cat, which I've come to find out are rarely female, so she's very special to me. And I'll be spending Valentine's with her. And I guess 300 people because we're doing a show tomorrow. It'll be like a weird like speed date kind of thing. Yeah, like a polyamorous speed date with the 300 people at once. So that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, well, there will probably be a lot of Valentine's dates in your audience, so that'll be fun. I'm sure you can work that into the show somewhere.
I will. I have some things up my sleeve. I have some things up my cape.
I am so happy that you agreed to come on Unpacking Life's Crazy. It's been great to see your face and talk to you, and I wish you all the success in continuing with The Empire Strips Back. How long? I think I saw that it's through April. Is that correct? You're going to be in San Diego through April?
We end in San Diego on April 30th, and then go to Seattle in June, I believe.
Well, I will. I'll let my daughter and son-in-law know because they're up near Seattle.
I appreciate that. Well, I'll have to get you a commission on the ticket prices.
Well, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me here.
For those of you who are regular listeners and are curious about the big move, we are now coming to you from Beaverton, Oregon. If you would like to hear that disaster story, you can check in for the bonus episode, part 2 of this one, where I will tell you a little bit about the adventures and how it all went.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this episode of Unpacking Life's Crazy. This is a one-woman show. You can show your support by liking and subscribing. Even better, contribute by visiting buymeacoffee.com/ESPPhoenix to financially support what I do and get a super cool original piece of artwork. Please visit my Etsy site, esperanzapaints.com. Thanks again for taking the time to watch, and until next time, take care of yourself and the ones you love.